Sorry guys, we had a small technical
Issue.
issue. We are now back on track with the stream. Camacho just revealed E-Strike and another card for Raz the Ancients. Pablo Pintor chose to block with two cards, with one of
One
them being a collapsing
collapsing trap.
trap, which triggered. I did not see the two cards that Camacho had, but most likely he can still follow it up with Titans.
Titan's Fist for sure. Maybe something else.
If I'm not mistaken, there's a visit in Camacho's hand.
So let's
see if he plays it. Yep,
Yes,
exactly.
visit to Goldenstein.
So-
And depending on what he draws, this can be either a card for Arsenal or a hammer for 4.
Yeah. I can also see a world where he chooses to break a gold. Let's see what his decision is. So 6 might for the next turn.
Yeah. So that Arsenal card is looking like a good choice for a big next turn. And he knows that collapsing trap is not a problem anymore. So. And
So
hammer for 4. Yeah, so something weird seems to be afoot. Camacho has 6 mites but only 5 gold, so either he didn't increase the gold or he put 1 extra mite. Let's see if,
he might have broken the.
or maybe
The
he broke
gold?
the gold
We will check with the
with the judges, in a minute.
But in the meantime, Pablo is
He's-
going through his graveyard and he's playing Remembrance, so he's choosing 3 cards to shuffle back on the deck. I think one of them is E-Strike. Another was the collapsing trap that was played in the previous turn, and we unfortunately were not able to identify the other card. But let's see what he follows up his turn with.
So Camacho seems to be on his turn now. 6 mites going off at the beginning of the turn, and let's see what he's going to do with it. And here we are. It seems to be a golden sun.
No, that's a great answer. Now, even if Pablo has some traps, he will have to line them up in a way that he can unblock his arsenal. This golden
Yeah.
sun, I think, is coming for,
16.
if I'm not mistaken, exactly.
Yeah.
With overpower.
plus 6 from the mites, plus 3 from breaking the gold.
Yeah. So let's see,
And I think
If
the judges are now.
checking the gold might
Yeah.
situation that we previously mentioned. So let's see how can Pablo face off against this golden sun for 16.
So Nuno, tell me, how do you think this matchup plays out?
It's difficult because we don't know deck lists yet, so we cannot be completely sure what Pablo is doing. We can see that he has, if I'm not mistaken, Perscrapler's balance, so probably having a more defensive stance
It
on the
should
deck.
be because of the quiver he has. Is the quiver that does a remembrance, let's say.
Yeah, exactly.
So it should be a fatigue Riptide build.
Yeah, so I cannot see right now the cards that Pablo chose to defend with, but we can see that his hand line pretty to defend
Yeah.
against.
Against the 16 power
Golden
Golden Sun,
Suns.
and we just got information that we were forgetting that the shield is also a gold, so
Exactly. So
Camacho
that's why
was
there
playing-
was one
was
extra
playing
mark.
perfectly.
Yep.
And yeah, it seems Pablo only took a little bit of damage from this Golden
Yeah.
Sun, and Camacho is passing with no arsenal and no might, so let's see what Pablo chooses to do.
So he has one card in hand. He can
Yeah,
most likely just Arsenal.
Most
and
likely
pass.
Arsenal and pass.
Right. So until this point, we can see that Pablo is playing kind of a slow defensive
Exactly.
playstyle with the deck. We don't know yet if that fares well against Victor. We also are not aware of how Camacho is versed in the matchup to know what he can and cannot do and should and shouldn't do.
That's true. That's a thing that a lot of people forget about Riptide. A lot of players are not used to playing against it, so probably they do mistakes. They don't play the matchup correctly. And here we go. Camacho goes for another Rousey Ancients. This
Yeah.
time revealing
Wallop.
and another card that.
Yeah. So Camacho is choosing not to play the visit here. Oh, maybe he's because what signals me not playing the visit here.
Okay, so
Okay.
he went back and he's going for a disable.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I was going to say. Like, he was basically going to spend 2 cards on Rouse, Peach, and
The visit.
and then he was going to hammer an Arsenal. The thing is, if he doesn't have like a proper Arsenal target, which he
Exactly.
seems he didn't have, this is the play because
Now
the
you-
2 remaining cards in his hand were blues, and
Yeah.
you don't want to Arsenal those 2 blues. So
So he's choosing to Arsenal Rouse the Ancients?
exactly.
for
So
the
he's
next
choosing
turn.
to. Let's see the possibilities because sometimes Riptide forces you to shuffle your library.
True.
But he's going to maybe try to line this up, the visit that he has on the pitch zone with a power card after that one. Choosing to Arsenal the Rouse now and maybe have another power turn.
The next turn, yeah.
Pablo only has 3 cards in hand, so there's
2 cards in hand, 1 in Arsenal.
yeah, exactly. So there's not much that Pablo can face or show at least to Camacho. So let's see.
Okay, so Pablo activated the bow, the red bar, activated the tunic, and now he's doing a Codex of Frailty and getting.
Command
I
and
think I saw
Conquer?
a Command and Conquer.
If I'm not mistaken exactly. So it's coming for 6.
and
Camacho's choosing to protect his arsenal, obviously,
with
losing
a
1 card,
test of strength,
banking that he wins this clash.
and I believe he wins.
Yeah, because
So
that's a blues tank. If I'm
tank. Tank.
I don't remember the name of
Yeah.
the card. It's not that if you reveal a
If you
for
reveal it on a
and
clash,
win,
you gain a might, yeah.
Exactly. So he's breaking a goal, making Pablo go down. Pablo shows a Warmongers. Now Camacho wins. Camacho gets a might, and that's a way better outcome than the previous one, which was no win.
Yeah, it was a draw on the
Exactly. So now Camacho is completely sure that he can house, and if he has a red in hand, he can follow it up with a
clash. A pretty big turn. Let's see. Let's wait.
yeah,
Camacho
exactly. So
breaking the might.
yeah,
If he goes for Rouse, the might and the frailty tokens will not do anything. Will annul each other.
exactly.
Yeah.
Pablo drew a fantastic hand of I think 3 headshots. I don't know which card is the other one, but let's see what he does. So I think that's Thunderquake and Zealous belting.
Yep. Should be Thunderquake and I believe Zealous belting.
Exactly. So one mysterious card in hand. I think it's a disable. He can
Or a debilitate blue. So this should be a 3 attack turn with the
yeah,
Zealous
let's
and hammer.
again. This goes back to the theory that we had, like how Camacho wants to approach the matchup.
Yeah.
Like, does he wants to spend his whole hand every turn, or is willing to save cards and make powerful
Exactly.
turn after powerful turn?
Yeah.
So he's choosing to save the Zealous here,
for next turn.
exactly, to make sure that he can line up various powerful turns.
And Pablo already blocked with the full hand anyway, so he knows that nothing big is gonna come from his side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't know if any of those arrows that Pablo had were red, but if they weren't, there was not much that Pablo could have done in his turn
Yeah, true.
to make something happen. So
Well, if you're playing Fatigue Riptide with Remembrance, you are going for the long game.
yeah,
So-
yeah, exactly.
Let's see what Camacho does now. We know the Zealous is in Arsenal.
Yeah.
If he can follow up that Zealous with a big attack again.
Oh,
it was a
doesn't-
Spinal Crutch, not a Zealous.
So let's see. This is actually sometimes better in this matchup, I would say, because you don't trigger any of the
Yeah,
traps
you don't
from
give Pablo
Riptide.
free trap triggers.
Yeah, exactly. So still a powerful attack, still demands cards.
So we got some chat tips that our voice is a bit low, so let's see if now it's a bit better.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We had some unfortunate technical issues during the start of this round, so most likely this round will be spent on fixing issues and commentating
Yeah,
at
exactly.
the same time, which might create some awkward situations, but we'll try our best to make sure that at least the end of the match flows
Yeah.
smoothly.
Exactly. So
I think it's a murky water.
I think it's a Mercury Waters, yes.
So shooting for 6. Clutch this turn, Pablo won't have an Arsenal card.
That's really important because
Exactly.
if he doesn't have an arsenal, you know that some of the traps are just stuck in his hand,
Yeah.
some of them, and
Exactly.
even the others, if you have a dominate or anything else, he can't use them there. So Murky Waters is a relatively new card for Riptide. Specialization that you can see here. Attacks for 6, so that's pretty good. And also
If it has a name counter, it has
dominate. It's not the case right now.
And
And if
You-
it hits, you can banish 3 face down traps from your graveyard and choose 1 to put
yeah.
in your arsenal at random.
Again, a good card. I think if you are on this plan of like playing slow, filling your deck with stuff,
Fatiguing your opponent, basically.
yeah,
Yeah.
this like slow, methodic approach that he's choosing to go with. Again, I think this is a clash win for 1, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken.
Clash win, but it's a trance, so Kamash is gonna get
A might, a vigor, and a card. And
in
a
a
gold.
card. And should get 2 mites, I believe, because he revealed a tank again. Yep. Exactly. So a pretty big trance for Kamasha
Yeah.
this turn. Let's see what he chooses to do with it.
Yeah, things are actually lining pretty well for him. Like he's being able to like have these block cards when he needs to. Because sometimes the thing that happens with Victor is if your opponent does not attack, you get stuck
You
with
get
them.
stuck with the block cards, yeah.
So I think they have been lining up pretty well in the sense that the turns that Paulo comes with an arrow, Camacho is able to line them up with the block cards.
The test of strength, yeah.
Yeah,
That's really important for Victor, the test of strength and the trough seating,
yeah,
because that's how you get the value of your deck, is when you go over the top.
yeah. Also with the new card that was Spoil Visit,
The
it's
visit.
very important that you get those golds to make sure.
Yeah, exactly. The first skill is really important.
Yeah, the mites enable you to go over the top, basically. So now he's choosing to line this up with an attack for 10. He has 2 cards in hand, so either his hand was super awkward, or he was not able to line them up in a way that was more efficient.
Yeah, seems to be the case because. And Pablo managed to line up a boulder trap, so
Yeah,
1 less block on Camacho's gloves.
exactly. So if this turn is what we imagine it is, Camacho will not have a good Arsenal target right now. He will
Yeah.
have most likely to put a blue there.
I believe it was a blue Macho Grande that I was seeing, but okay, no, it shows the
Yeah.
other card.
So that was unfortunate. Even though the trance lined it up and the draw
Yeah.
was good, now Camacho has a 5 cards to play with. But let's see if he's able to actually do something. He has to unclog his arsenal, right?
Yeah, I believe if he doesn't have a go again, much probably we're gonna see the card from Arsenal go into Pablo's face
Yeah,
because
exactly.
he needs to Arsenal power cards to have the big turns.
Okay.
Okay, it's a good turn. Spinal Crush for 9.
Yeah, exactly. One thing that Camacho might also try to do is come up with a Zealous and follow it up with an Arsenal card, for example.
Yes, that's true. You
We
can do
n-
that. We already saw him play 2 Zealous, so probably only 1 more in deck for now. No, 2. He played 2 rows. Yeah,
Exactly.
1
One
Zealous,
Zealous.
1 Zealous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we don't know deck lists here, so we might imagine that he's playing 3 of each.
I'm pretty sure. Yes.
Exactly.
And
So let's see what he can come up with his stuck blue card in Arsenal.
For now, Pablo seems to be planning to block with 2 cards.
Yeah. I think every time that Camacho doesn't threaten a lot of damage, what Pablo might try to do is just play the value game.
Yeah.
Block well when he can shoot an arrow.
Shoot an arrow and go from there.
Take the game long, basically.
Yeah, and we see Pablo is being able to do that. And now he's activating the quiver.
Yep. You're going to
So-
shuffle Murky Waters,
Headshot red, and he has another Murky Waters there.
I don't remember him playing Endless Arrow.
Endless Arrow, okay, yeah. So yeah, this is gonna be a long game for sure. We have in front of us. One thing that I guess is relevant in this matchup also, Pablo as Riptide doesn't have a true weapon, let's say, to
Yeah.
attack. And Victor, being a Guardian, has a lot of big attacks that trade 1 card from Victor by multiple cards from Pablo.
Exactly.
So this probably is a hard matchup for a Fatigue Riptide, or harder than most.
Yeah. There's also the situation which is Camacho might not be aware before the game started the version that Pablo was on.
Yes, true.
So he might be on a like 60 card super aggressive plan.
And
which
Pablo will be with
exactly
all of the cards, basically.
yeah, Pablo can light up a situation where he has like most of his deck list on the table, plus cards like Remembrance and the Quiver,
Exactly.
which even though he might be forced to block more, might make the situation in a way that both players end up with similar amount of cards or even an advantage for Pablo.
I think he needs an advantage of in the terms of card numbers because, like I said, he doesn't have a real weapon, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
if they are equal in cards and equal in life, I think Camacho is on track to win.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
exactly.
not we don't know the card numbers, but the life is a bit lower for Camacho, but not an unsurmountable amount. It seems Pablo is choosing to take 2 damage, I believe,
Yeah.
this turn.
So players are sorting lives out here.
Yeah. And then Camacho also has been pitching power cards, like you said. We saw him pitch a Visit to Gold Main Estate, Macho Grand that has Dominate, even being a blue. And he has 6 gold at the moment, so we can be in for a pretty serious second cycle from Camacho
Yeah,
when he gets
exactly.
there.
So the situation is Riptide can make you shuffle your deck.
True.
And he put the Collapsing Trap back in the deck, which means that even if you pitch stack as Victor, you might end up in a situation where your deck gets shuffled
Yeah.
and you don't have access to...
You don't line the power cards as you wanted.
Exactly. So Pablo, using
you
a
see it
codex, from the
bounce.
codex, he chooses a Command and Conquer, he shoots the Command and Conquer. Camacho as a trance. I believe the first clash was lost.
I'm not sure. No, we
yeah,
are at the
let's-
second clash, and seems Camacho just thinking if he wants to break a gold. So if he's thinking, I believe probably he won the first, right?
Yeah.
Because giving a vigor and a might to a Fatigue Riptide doesn't seem. Okay, so Camacho didn't break the gold. Pablo Arsenal the Command and Conquer he showed from the clash. And now is a Crush the Week. So for 7, 6 because of frailty.
Yeah, exactly. Now seeing Crush the Week, I have a question, and we didn't saw that list yet, which is most likely if you expected this type of Riptide, you would only bring Crush the Week if you played more than 60, most likely, right?
Yeah, true. Because Crush the Week doesn't affect Riptide
Yeah.
basically at all. So if he's bringing that, either he didn't expect this type of Riptide,
Exactly.
or he brought more cards than 60 and he's just
Yeah.
going for the fatigue game also.
Yeah.
Seeing as Camacho is a player that follows the competitive scene, and Pablo has been playing fatigue Riptide in the last few tournaments, I believe he probably is
Yeah.
aware of the list, or at least the idea of the list. So
Yeah. And this is the situation that we spoke about with Riptide and these types of lists, is that sometimes you cannot unclog your hand out of your arrows and attacks
Yeah,
because
exactly.
of you playing Purge Grapplers and not playing Sources of Go again, I believe. Now he has the situation where he has a Command and Conquer and
Two
he's
cards
stuck
in
with
hand.
two cards in
Yeah.
hand. Which, that's one of the best cards to have in, and as an extra card, which is Sigil of Solace,
Yeah, exactly.
which makes Pablo go to 31.
He had
if
two
I'm not
extra cards in
mistaken.
hand, but he
They were
didn't.
not extra.
Yeah, it was not extra because he managed to play the sigil. Yeah, but that you said about the hand being clogged, we saw that I believe in Battle Hardened Bologna, that a Riptide playing against Max just kept a card in hand multiple turns. That was a trap
Yeah.
that he didn't want to put in Arsenal.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
And now Kamashi is doing the play that basically scalers are there for, right?
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
making E-Strike, playing an E-Strike, giving it the mode of draw card, and now he's going to most likely on attack reactions just break scalers, give it go again, and try to follow up with another big attack. If I'm not mistaken, there's a Shock Slam head in Kamashi's end, but again, he might be on this situation where he
Where he-
has that blue on Arsenal
And he wants to get rid of it.
that he might want to hit. Oh, it was not it was a Command and Conquer?
Command and Conquer in Arsenal, so that's a pretty good turn. And Latin strike for 6, go again from Scalers, and now Command and Conquer, threatening Pablo's Arsenal.
Yeah.
And
So this is the third Remembrance I think we are seeing.
no, it's second Remembers, but he
yeah,
also
but
used the quiver. Yeah.
exactly. So the thing is, we know Pablo is playing the 3 Remembrance now. He already activated the quiver. So this is a situation where we expect him to have more cards.
Yeah. If he doesn't have more cards now after 2 Remembers and the quiver, the game is going bad for him, for sure.
Yeah, he's been blocking a lot, right? So you've seen the Spinal Crushes and stuff, the Rouses. He always comes with like the 2 cards and the 3 cards. So now, for example, on this turn, there was a 3 card situation coming on with Camacho only spending 2 cards,
Yeah.
basically. So in terms of what's being put on the table, Camacho seems to always be ahead in terms of card numbers. The issue is, I don't think Camacho is playing any mechanism of shuffling cards back in the deck.
No, I believe he doesn't, but that's the power of the Guardians in the fatigue matchup, right?
Yeah.
Every card of them is 2 cards from at least from you if you want to block it.
Yeah.
So even the blues are like 4/6.
Exactly.
So that's why playing fatigue against the Guardian is really hard. But now we see the
Oh,
downside of the Guardian.
And Camacho is playing Pummels.
Yeah.
So
Now we see one of the downsides is just armor for 4 this turn, so not a really big turn from Camacho, but he's putting the Pummel down
again,
in the deck.
back in the deck.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think Camacho kind of identified a little bit of what's going on. He's not just throwing cards and spending them aimlessly. He's trying to mix it between having some power turns and shuffling good stuff back in the deck, as well as like trying to keep the pressure up.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we both know Camacho from the Portuguese scene, and he's a experienced player. Like you said, the first Portuguese national champion, and he's a pretty good player. And I'm sure that he's aware of the plan of Pablo Pintor and how his deck can work against it. So
Funnily enough, the Boulder Trap here, which in a regular Victor approach would be super valuable because he would present way more armor than
Yeah.
what he's presenting. But now with Visit and with E-Strike plus Scalers,
yeah,
he was able to get, if I'm not mistaken, put a counter on the arms piece.
yeah.
But I don't think he was able to put a counter in anything after that one.
No. For now, the boulder traps were just -1 block on the arms, the gauntlets, and that was it, as far as I know.
Exactly.
Because, like you said, now Vitors, because of the new card, Visit of Goldman State, are playing with the headpiece, the generic headpiece, the Crown of Dominion, to start with 1 gold from there, the
Yeah.
gold from the shield, and then the first visit is already on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And
So
here
we
is-
see the Golden Sun coming out, and again, another house back in the deck. So Camacho is able to come up with his turns that Vitor is able to do, and he's still able to keep cards.
Good cards, power cards in the deck, yeah.
Exactly, back in the deck.
Yeah.
So
So,
I think Pablo mistakenly forgot that Golden Sun has overpower, so you put 2 actions in front of it.
yeah, he was blocking with 2 arrows, I believe, but Camacho told him. He just put the arrow back. And now, let's see if he chooses to use some of the traps he has in hand. I see a inertia trap, I believe I saw in Pablo's hand. He's blocking with the headpiece as well, and push grapplers.
And arms.
Okay, so Pablo is just using all of his armor.
I wonder if Pablo fears the Pummel somehow.
It's
Because this is looking
possible.
for 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, so now we got an update on the lefts, and there's the
Okay.
Pummel, like you said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this makes it 14, if I'm not mistaken.
It's not 11,
And-
so it's 12 for Camacho, 11 for Pablo.
Yeah.
So yeah, on these lives we have the lives pretty much equal.
Yeah.
The cards in deck we don't know, but like we said, Camacho seems to have been getting the better trades on the card amount, but Pablo used 2 remembers and a quiver, so
Yeah.
it's pretty much, let's
Yeah.
see.
What I would like to see from Camacho now is look at Pablo graveyard and check which traps are already there.
Mhm.
Because as life gets lower against Riptide, it's important for you to identify the life that you have left
Yeah.
and the damage that you can take from traps.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
obviously some you cannot work around them and you have to take the damage. But some of them you can kind of try to work around them.
I would say that a lot of them you can work around as a guardian, right? Because a lot of them are with go again, that trigger. So
Yeah, exactly. But
If
for
you-
example, the boulder trap, right? It's
Yeah.
it's very hard because if you go hammer, it's
yeah, if you go
active.
hammer, it's all
Ac-
the +1 from base.
Yeah, exactly.
If
But
you go hammer are
I don't
activated.
know. There's like a crazy world where we end up in a situation where Pablo only has boulder traps, and you are at the lower life, and you just know I cannot attack with hammer. I
Yeah.
always have to go with regular
That's true.
attacks.
That's true. Yeah,
So
that's something you can work around with Victor against Riptide,
yeah,
but also because of the 3 remembrance and 1 quiver, we don't know if the graveyard is still. Pablo's graveyard is big enough for Camacho to
yeah.
go for
exactly.
that yet. But it's definitely something he should do in the future.
Yeah. And crucially now, Pablo only has 1 block on trench,
Mhm.
so that there's no safety net against any on hits. Like I don't expect any specific on hit to be very relevant against these Pablos.
Yeah, I will say the most relevant for now need Camacho has is Command and Conquer to break the arsenal and Pummel to discard a card from hand.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So I think he's coming up with Murky Waters, if I'm not mistaken.
probably yes, Murky Waters.
Camacho still has 1 block on shield, and by this time,
Okay, but he seems to choose to take. Okay, not a Murky Waters then.
Battering Bolt, I think.
Battering
then.
Bolt, yeah.
Because if it was a Murky Waters, I think it would have dominate, and then Camacho wouldn't be able to present 2 cards. So now we see the visit.
Okay, 6, so 7 mites now with a shield
Yeah, exactly.
and draw a card.
And the situation now is Pablo most likely would like to be able to put the pressure on to
Yeah.
make sure that Camacho cannot take advantage of the mites with a powerful attack. The issue is, even though Camacho is at 10, this version of Riptide cannot output that much pressure, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it doesn't have the go again attacks like Ravenous Rebel and Latin
Exactly.
Strike.
So
Maybe
it-
Latin Strike it has, but
So even
Should be the
though
one.
Camacho is like in a lower life state, pretty close to 0, let's see. But I don't think that Pablo will be able to output the enough pressure to kind of like
yeah,
disrupt Camacho in a way that he doesn't take advantage of the mites.
yeah, because even it's not just the go again attacks, but Pablo's list also is really low on pumps for the
Yeah.
arrows, if he has any. So yeah,
There was a chance there was a premeditate in the list, but I don't think we saw any.
Didn't saw any pumps until now, except the
Yeah.
+1 from Red Bar, so
Yeah, and this is an endless arrow, if I'm not mistaken.
I
So,
believe so.
as we pointed out, not much pressure coming out of the Riptide player, and also in other decks, this endless arrow sometimes can turn into a lot.
Yeah.
It can turn into a cross trap. It can turn into follow up with scalers and rain razors and whatnot. But in this case, even the on it effect doesn't make a lot of difference.
It just guarantees that Pablo has an arrow to put in Arsenal. That's
Yeah,
it.
exactly. But this also gives precious information to Kamashi if he was quick on the spot, which is he knows that the endless arrow is back on Arsenal, so he knows that Pablo cannot unclog his Arsenal with traps
True.
this turn.
That's true. And I see the third remembrance in Pablo's hand,
Yeah, exactly. Which is
I
an
believe.
on-block card.
which is a non-block, and Kamashi is coming with 7 mites, breaking the goal to draw a card.
So most likely he's looking for a go again effect.
Either a go again or a big dominate or overpowered attack.
Exactly.
That
So
will
he
be my
played
guess.
2 Golden Suns, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. But I think okay.
And he found the third one.
And he found a third one. So he knows that Pablo can only come with 1 card.
Well, it's overpowered, so if he has traps in hand, he can come with
Yeah,
some
that's what
traps
I was
on
going
hand,
to
but
say.
even then, it's a golden sun.
So I think I see an endless arrow in effect in shot.
17?
Remembrance. This golden sun is coming for 17. So there's an off chance that Camacho just wins on the spot.
Yeah, so a 3 block plus the tunic is 4, and 4 on 17 is 13. That's the life that Pablo is, but Pablo is thinking, so I guess he has some trap at least to stay alive. Okay,
So this is
trench
now
going,
representing
4 block,
4.
so that's exactly lethal.
So that's still little.
Yeah.
I think Pablo has a trap, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, if he doesn't have a trap, then it's pretty much that, right?
Oh, so we didn't saw the arsenal properly. He chose
Well,
to
yeah,
keep.
he has the endless arrow in hand, and
Exactly.
Arsenal another trap.
Yes. So 2 traps plus the trench. The endless arrow, I think, went to Arsenal.
Yeah, I
If I'm
believe
not
so.
mistaken.
From the Riptide trigger
Yes.
of playing a trap.
So it takes 7, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe, yes, if
Goes
both
to
the traps are for 3, I should take 7 and go to 6. Let's see. No. Okay, so then one of the blocks probably was for 2, a 2
yeah,
block.
exactly. And now the same endless arrow that
Yeah.
came up. Now it's coming back again.
Yeah, this endless arrow. Okay, now this endless arrow, Kamashi say no. This endless arrow
Yeah.
is enough. Let's put that to the graveyard.
Yeah.
I don't need this shield anymore. I played my visits. I'm happy with blocking with it now. And here he goes, breaking the goal to search for a big attack.
So if I'm not mistaken, Kamasha doesn't have any more visits. So now there's no issue in breaking golds. If
Yeah,
the
I-
3 golden suns have been played, if I'm not mistaken, the 3 visits are also out of the deck. So
Yeah.
now it's basically search time.
Yeah, the goals are just draw a card, see if I get a big attack.
Exactly.
And he found one in Spinal Crush.
Yeah.
And we also know that Kamash we saw him pitch most of the Macho Grandes with Dominate, so that can also be a way for victory with the Dominate.
Exactly.
It's even better than Overpower.
Yeah. Even though this Riptide version is like full of traps, right? So the dominate effect which
Yeah,
would be
you-
a game ender in another matchups. In this one, it might be more tight than that.
Yeah, if he has a trap in Arsenal, he can always just do block
Yeah.
from hand and trap
So
from Arsenal.
fully blocked by Pablo. Again, 3 cards for 1. This is the card economy that we spoke about.
Yeah, yeah, that's why. This is why you don't try to fatigue a Guardian. Basically, it's really hard.
Yeah.
But if someone can do it, it's Pablo, right?
Exactly.
It's
The
great
third
player,
remembrance
so-
is being played right now. Let's see what he chooses to play. Because
so 1 Murky Waters, I believe. So until now, the remembrance were mostly
attacks.
6 power attacks. So
Yeah.
Murky Waters, Command and Conquers, Battering Bolts.
Yeah.
That again are the better attacks that Pablo has for the card economy, right?
Yeah, you can strip out more cards by playing those ones.
Yeah. So we are seeing a battering bolt and a murky waters, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
and waiting for Pablo to choose the third card.
And the Easter egg.
Okay, but
It's battering bolt, murky waters, and Easter egg, if I'm not mistaken. And this is a codex.
yeah, Codex of Frailty, and here we go again, Endless Arrow for 4. Endless Arrow for 4, Pounder for Pablo, Frailty for Camacho, and let's see. Camacho doesn't have any more blocks on the armor except the tunic.
Yeah, I cannot expect him to put the tunic here because Pablo's already
Still
has
has a
the
pounder,
pounder,
right? Yeah.
So unless he really wants to keep Pablo out of his
Endless Arrow.
arrow, yeah, I don't know if it's the last one in Pablo's deck. I wouldn't
I don't know even if.
expect Camacho
Yeah.
to put the tunic here.
No, it's not gonna put the tunic, but that means if he wants.
Yeah,
He has to
giving
block
two
with two,
cards.
yeah, he has to give two
Yeah,
cards to the
it's
Endless Arrow.
two blues. This is also the situation where at the end of the Victor's deck, we are now seeing a lot of blues come up. So Camacho will break the gold, he'll try to find the reds. Because right now we must be getting a lot of like 3 blue hands, 4 blue hands.
Well, that's. Guardian has good card economy, but also plays a lot of blue, so you can't expect to always have a red in hand.
Exactly. So interesting. He's choosing to pitch the
The
Pummel
Pummel, yeah.
here. And I can see a world where he gets to that Pummel around, but unfortunately you cannot see it from the stream. But there's 4 minutes left. So unless Camacho's deck is like really thin,
I don't think he's gonna be able to see that Pummel.
yeah. But he might also have another Pummel in Arsenal because he only played one until now.
True, we saw him pitch 2 Pummels before this one, so
Exactly.
yeah.
So he might be trying to line up one in Arsenal.
Maybe. Or also he thinks he's just gonna win on this plan of just send attack and block, and Pummel is a 2 block,
Yeah, exactly.
and to play Pummel you have to keep more cards in hand, so
Yes.
then maybe he's just going for the full fatigue mode,
Yeah.
send big attack block.
Again, I can imagine that he's going to try to finish the matchup with either a go again attack
Or a dominate, or a Pummel.
or yeah.
It's the 3
The
main
thing
ways.
is, you can line up pummels with go against. You can pummel as Alice Velting, you can pummel a Rosdiations,
That's
right?
true, yeah.
So, in a world where that happens, that might be the end of this game.
Yeah, if he managed to do a rouse turn with a Pummel,
Yeah.
I think there's no way Paulo survives that.
At least he loses tempo. Right.
Well, if he does survive, he's gonna lose his whole hand and Arsenal probably to block that. So, and we see Camacho blocking with Tunic.
Here, which is interesting because
Yeah, it's really interesting. So it means he has a pretty.
so he has Macho Grande, Thunderquake, Clash of Might, and I was not able to see the last card. So the block with the Tunic here only signals one thing,
Yeah.
which is
The big turn we are talking about.
and Camacho does not expect Pablo to attack again. So he's saving that 1 HP, which can make
Yeah.
the defense for the traps.
Exactly.
He's saving that because he doesn't expect.
And
him-
like you said before, Camacho is signaling a Pummel in Arsenal
Yeah, exactly. So
with the dominated Macho Grande.
yep.
And okay, seems there was some miscommunication.
here. So now Pablo knows that the Pummel is coming. The 2 pitch left would also signal it a
Yeah,
bit.
at this point in game, you saw Pablo saw Camacho pitch a Pummel before and Arsenal a card,
Exactly.
and the card is there since then, so he's pretty sure it's a Pummel.
Yeah, exactly. And if for some reason Pablo cannot.
Okay, he's using the
Yeah, that's what I was going
half-love.
to say. To unclog the arsenal.
Yeah, and now you can play a trap
Yeah.
with
Trigger.
Riptide Trigger, put another trap in Arsenal
Yeah.
and play the trap from Arsenal.
Yeah. So Kamash, that's what I was saying. Kamash is at 3 right now. I don't know if this trap triggers. Oh, it triggers?
Inertia trap, I believe.
I think it's the crew trap that kills him.
Ah, if he doesn't have any pitch. The one that
Oh
gives
no,
to...
it's game.
Oh, no,
It's
it's
game.
game. Okay.
GG's.
GG, so we saw Camacho on Victor beating Paulo Pintor on Riptide for the first game, so a pretty big win on stream for Camacho
Yeah.
against one of the best players in the world.
A clutch game, to be fair.
really
Kamash
clutch
was
game.
at 3, very close to, again, probably trying to trap triggers.
To the three-player trap, the Crucible one that
Exactly. So
does 2 damage unless you have to
we
pay for
obviously
it.
don't know what was the remaining cards on the players' lists and the players' deck in this case, but definitely a close match.
So yeah, I think now we're gonna maybe stop the stream a bit so we can fix some technical issues on our side.
Yep, and we will
And
be back for round 2.
Yeah. See you soon. Hello again. We are still fixing some small details with the stream. You can check the metagame breakdown here, and we'll be back soon. Second round is almost starting. Welcome back. Welcome back to Battle Hardened Lisbon, round 2. In this round, we have a local player, Marcos Vassão on Caio, against one player that we saw in every tournament around Europe, basically,
Exactly.
Gianluca Zorco, on Enigma. So this should be a pretty interesting match. What do you think, Nuno? How does this match goes?
I think it will depend on the list that Gianluca is running, to be fair. Caio can be, as we all know, very aggressive, right?
Yes, that's true.
And if Jean is running a list that is more leaning on auras and defensive mechanisms, I think it might be a closer match. If Jean is running a list that is closer to the ones that are more like fake guardian style, might be less close in terms of
So when you say fake guardian, you are saying more like weakest links, command and
Yeah,
conquers,
exactly.
all those good attacks against
plus
Caio.
maybe some pummels, either blue or red ones,
Yeah.
depending on the type of approach.
So we see a good first play from Gianluca on the beginning, starting
Yeah.
with a Rage Spectre,
So I think this
and
is
now transcending. So
yeah, and gaining one life. So I think
no,
this
no,
is
it was a shuffle transcend.
oh
Yeah.
so I think this is what you don't want to see as Vassão. So now Traverse is online. Gianluca can use his head to basically most likely play the Mira guy for 8.
And he's gonna attack him for 2 with the Spectral Shield and go again, and then for 6 with the Rage Spectre
Yeah,
and
so-
do an Arsenal.
So a very, very, very first.
And we see Vassão
Turn.
right from the start blocking with the Savage Sash.
Signaling that maybe he doesn't expect too much on hits from Gianluca, or he's planning to use it right now.
Yeah, I'll say. So we have. So don't be mistaken by the lives; they are switched. So Vassão is on 34 from the start, and Gianluca is on 40, of course, because he took the first turn, and we saw Vassão blocking with Savage Sash and taking 6 damage. So this is a signal that he really likes his opening hand. So let's
Yeah.
see what it's gonna do.
Yeah, most likely he will.
So I guess that's a Blood Rush Bella.
Yeah. Most likely just going to
So yeah.
maybe use Sash in this turn. So you never know what you draw on this card from
Yeah,
Lord Rush Bell, but
it's the randomness of Brute.
yeah, exactly.
But let's see, he makes a might, he draws 2. He has 3 cards, 1 in Arsenal. Okay, so then the first turn was from Vassão, not from Gianluca. The turn 0 of the game,
Yeah,
let's say.
exactly.
And now we see him playing another Blood Rush Bellow.
Oh, so this is a double
Double Blood Rush Bellow.
turn with possibly Sash
Yeah.
on the block.
Yeah. Let's see, like, I assume Vassão drew the second Blood Rush Bellow from the first,
Yeah, exactly.
but let's see what he does.
So I imagine that he has either a finisher like a swing big or a go again attack on Arsenal, right?
I will say one of those. Me personally, I prefer to have the go again on Arsenal to guarantee that I make more than one attack that turn.
Exactly.
Of course, you also have the claw for 7 go again, so that's a pretty nice claw.
Yeah.
And don't forget that Rage Spectre, even though it has ward 6 on your turn, on this turn it's only ward 1. So
No, I cannot imagine that he's going to try to defend his Rage Scepter
no,
unless there's maybe a defense reaction on Arsenal.
even then he's a bit
Yeah.
pushing it, right?
With the many like 0 blocks and auras that block for 2.
And a 2 Blood Rush Bellow turn, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, exactly. So I think this basically represents 2 life.
Yeah. So let's see what Vassão can do with this Blood Rush Bellow turn. It's a pretty old school card from Flesh and Blood, since
From the first set.
from the
Flash
first set, and a card that Caio is using a lot better than Reiner at the moment.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, as we expected,
Yeah.
those two represented just 2 life. John is going down to 5.
35. So
Yeah.
and now
It
the
comes
wild
the
ride.
run from Arsenal.
Yeah, go again from Arsenal.
Okay.
Okay, he's gonna break Sash.
So breaking Sash here means most likely it will come with 2 attacks.
2 attacks, maybe 3 if he gets luck with the draw discard.
Yeah, but I cannot imagine that he's taking more than 2 value out of this. If he takes 3 out of this,
If he takes 3, it's crazy.
it's definitely a huge turn, and probably the game will from now forward just lean on Vasson to make
Yeah.
it happen, basically.
Even if it's only let's say 2 attacks with 2 blood rush walls, it's like wild ride for 10, and then if it's for example swing big is for 12, even then he still has 1 pitch floating, so he can arsenal last
yeah,
card.
yeah, exactly. So
So-
blocking for 6, pitching for a waning vengeance, so creating the chill because he pitched the blue, so it's basically a full block.
Not a full block. When he eventually creates the shield when it's destroyed, I believe. Yeah. So he takes 1, and now he has the shield.
And now he's coming with
Another wild ride. So
another wall ride. So yeah, basically I don't think he has pitch left. The
No.
claw has already been used.
no.
So unless he has a 1 cost attack that comes costing 0, the last card will just be an arsenal
Well,
target.
he could also draw this card a beast within, and
Yeah, exactly.
but yeah.
But unless it's the blue that attacks for 5, or
Or yeah, just the blue that attacks for 5 because
Yeah.
Savage Fist needs you to discard a card. So
exactly.
so he's seen a good turn from Vasson. Started with Claw for 7, then Wild Ride for 10, and now Wild Ride for 9. So that's 26 turn,
Yeah.
26 damage turn, and an arsenal for next turn.
So even though that happens, I don't think the Enigma player is on such a disadvantage as he could have been, because we now saw from Vasson 2 power cards coming out
And the Sash.
and the Sash. And there's still everything in Enigma's deck.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's a life lead for Vasson, but it's not as big as you would want from 2 power cards and a Sash turn.
exactly.
And also, well, as we assume, if you drew the second blood rush from the first, it's not really in your power to decide, right?
I'm not saying like there was
Yeah.
much
because
that Vasson could have done, because he had a wild ride in Arsenal.
in Arsenal,
Most likely had another one in hand unless
yeah,
he drew
exactly.
it.
So
So there was not much he could have done. Maybe pitch for Claw if he expects the game to go long.
Yeah,
but
but
even
then you have to get there, right? So you never
Exactly.
know. So yeah, Gianluca just arsenal the last card and passed back to Vasson, and let's see, the might pops. If he can keep on having the go against here, this is the way that you can beat Enigma's KO, is just always present 2 attacks, so you don't let Enigma get make a board, let's say, with the auras. So let's see, it's a 7 power attack. I can't exactly see what it is because of the glare on the card. But if it's just a 7 attack from a 4 card hand, that's not good for Vasson. It's not what he wants to be doing.
Yeah, I'm curious about the way that the Enigma player is going to approach the matchup, to be fair. Because right now he has seen 2 blood rushes come out, right?
Yep.
So he can try to kind of like play defensively in a way that enables him to set up 1 or 2 arrows and then start to pressure.
Yeah, that's actually an interesting thought because the Enigma player chooses how to play this matchup. The KO player just goes face and tries to kill Enigma as fast as possible and without letting him get out of hand.
Yeah.
So Gianluca has the say on this matchup, and he's blocking with the weakest link. That's really interesting. Is a good card to send against Kaya. Okay.
Wait.
So that attack had go again?
No, that's a pummel.
Ah, that's a pummel. Okay, so
Ooh, I don't think he was expecting this one.
no, for sure he is not. It's not. You don't have that many Kaios that play pummels. You need to be really confident on your draw these cards with Wild Ride to play it. But it's working for Vasan, right?
Yeah.
He played 2 Wild Rides in Arsenal.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
good
exactly.
card,
No,
so-
no. The plan is there, definitely. And I think he
Yes.
caught him off guard because
No,
he was
he-
only expecting like a 4 damage
Yeah.
take without one hit. And again, I don't know which Enigma cards he is running, but if he's not running like a lot of defense
I
reaction,
think I can see some blue aura.
or he
in
doesn't
his
have them
hand.
right now, it's basically direct damage with the discard effect.
Yeah, it's really good on it. At this point, he already blocked with 1 card, so it's another card taken from hand. So even if he takes all the damage, he's not gonna get a big turn off of it.
Yeah.
And he's at 26, so he needs to be careful with his life total.
Yeah.
Okay, but since he's taking the damage, so if it's a red pummel, he should take 8 damage in total. And now he has to discard a card.
Yeah. So these cards are blue, 3 block.
Yep.
Nothing crazy. And Vasson still gets to keep an arsenal, so
This seems to be going good for Marcus Vasson. Started really fast. Let's see if he can keep up the pressure.
yeah, exactly. The thing now is if the Enigma player is not able to pressure the KO in the next few turns, KO can basically just take the damage,
Yeah.
play 5-card hands
Yeah.
for a while, right?
Well, this is a good start from Jaluka. A Waxing Spatter attacking for 4 go again.
But again, it's very unlikely that he will be able to keep auras in this stage of the game because Vassal most likely will just, unless he has extra cards,
Yeah.
he will basically just say no blocks and put enough pressure on the table that destroys the auras, basically.
Yeah, at this point, Vasson is, or Gianluca is waiting for Vasson to not have a go again turn.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
he wants.
So now the Restless Coalescence comes out, tunic counter to attack. This comes for 3.
And then he can make a Spectral Shield and still attack with
For
it for
one.
free
Yeah.
for 1. So a pretty good 3-card turn. And we see that we have some Pummel fans in the chat at the moment.
No, definitely I don't think anyone was expecting the KO to come out with
Well,
a
but-
pummel.
Well,
Funnily enough, will be for the next rounds.
everybody's gonna be afraid of the Pummel, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, usually when you play against KO, you don't have to play around a lot of stuff. Most of what he does, it's on the table, right?
Yeah, usually it's just the claw without go again that you discard a Jalwand up,
Exactly.
but even that is pretty much, you can tell it's that.
And sometimes you can end the chain with a on it effect like a command and conquer or a sandpacking, but even then,
It's just that. Like,
yeah, you might be punished in a sense, but you might just throw away your defense reactions.
so yeah, that was the turn from Jaluka. He ended up with a pretty nice board. And Vasson is going for the wild ride, so let's see.
Discarding a smash instinct, if I'm not mistaken.
So then another might and another go again turn from Vasson. And he has 2 cards in hand, 1 in arsenal, so this will probably be wild ride for 5, then claw for go again, and another attack at the end.
Yeah.
If he has a blue in hand.
Yeah. And as we were speaking, like in theory, the Enigma player is now at 26 life, if I'm not mistaken.
25, I believe.
25.
6.
Because of the glare, 6, yeah, 25 exactly. So even though there was that big turn in the beginning, the life totals in theory are way more closer. than they would have seemed after that. I think 34 to 19
Yeah.
turn, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And we see Gianluca blocking with the second weakest link. So
Yeah.
this tells us that he's planning to really go defensive.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
now.
I think he's trying to defend this Waxing Spectre, and now Vassan with the classical move of rolling scabs,
Yeah, for those that don't know this player, he really likes to roll scabs.
and
so
he was able to get a 5, so that means 2 action points. So I think at this point Gianluca knows I cannot be threatened by.
But this is interesting. Vassan has no pitch, no cards in hand, and he rolled the scabs. So I'm guessing the arsenal is a
Cast bomb.
cast bombs, right?
Exactly,
It has to
yeah.
be the cast bombs. It's the only thing that
Yeah.
makes sense here.
Exactly. And I think at this point, if you are the Enigma player and you predict this outcome, I don't think there's much of a reason to try to keep your auras alive in this
No, I
case.
think you try to present some disruption. He already blocked with the weakest link, so that could be a good. And
that's
now
the
the third
third one.
weakest link, yeah.
Yeah. So your best outcome is most likely arsenaling the card that you have left.
Yeah, and being a defense reaction for the next turn.
And pray that nothing crazy comes out of Vassan on the next turn.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He already has one might, so even if he gets one miss, oh, he got two
He
misses.
Got 2 misses.
Okay,
yeah.
then no agility for him. So that's
So-
a really good outcome for
Yeah.
Gianluca.
But we now know Vassan is running Pummels, Reckless, Blood Rush, and Cast Bones. So
These wall rides, he has to be really feeling lucky today. But until now, it worked. So
and this can be a very crucial hand, depending
Yeah.
on the way it gets drawn, because there's a Beast Within, there's a Blood Rush.
and there's a reckless swing.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
So if things line up super well, I think you can come up with a big Blood Rush this turn. The issue is there's also a Command and Conquer there, and again, there's nothing on the. Oh, now there is.
But I actually like this play from Gianluca because he could attack with the shield for free and arsenal the card.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But if you do that and Vassan drew the Blood Rush and the Beast Within, he
Yeah.
can always block that and force the Beast Within this card with Blood Rush.
True.
So not attacking, you leave it to chance if you
Yeah.
do that.
And there's also a Command and Conquer, so there's a world where you cannot protect your arsenal. So
Yeah.
just better to put the shimmers on the table.
Yeah, I
and-
think Gianluca read it well from the cast sponge and played it
Yeah.
correctly. And now let's see this turn. The third Blood Rush, so the last.
So we know there's an E-Strike and we know there's a Command and Conquer.
Yeah.
Right? So not much value from the Blood Rush itself.
Yeah, it's +2 on the claw and maybe +2 on another attack at most.
Mhm.
Should be that. But even then, it will probably be a good turn because you had the cast bombs
Yeah.
before with 5 might, so the claw alone is 10 go again.
There's also a crazy world where it might be okay to roll scabs after attacking with the claw in order so you can E-Strike and draw a card to search for another power
Depends
card.
on his hand, yeah.
Because again, from the cast bombs we know that he has a combination of Reckless, E-Strike,
Reckless is on the pitch zone,
yeah, Command and Conquer, Blood Rush,
Beast
and
Within,
Beast Within.
and another card that I don't remember, but I believe it was a brute attack.
So after this claw,
So-
there might be a world where it is worth to roll scabs
I
if you feel like you really need to pressure your opponent. Yeah. The defensive reactions are coming out now because Jean knows that Vassan might end with a Command and Conquer.
Exactly, yeah. He wants to play the defense reactions
Yeah.
on the first attack, so he's safe from that outcome.
So he's taking 6 now, right?
No.
Oh no, he's playing all
Another.
of them.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
And I believe so.
He saw the top, he
Yeah.
kept. He's
So-
trading the card now. So this is something that he wants. The remaining card in his hand is a aura that blocks for 3. Essence of Mind, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so he takes 1, breaks the spectral shield, and now it's Vassan's turn to
Yeah.
see what he wants to do. I'm sure our people watching the stream want him to roll scabs again,
I think he's thinking about it. Like,
but let's see what he
He's-
chooses to do.
he's most likely either thinking about it or thinking about the Arsenal card
Yeah,
that he wants to keep.
true. That's true because Enlightening Strike in Arsenal is a really powerful card because it's a go again for
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly. So, in this case, if he kept the Command and Conquer in hand, he's choosing to keep it on Arsenal in order to pressure the Arsenal
And also,
for next turn.
you know, this turn Jean-Luc already played the defense reactions,
Exactly.
so you're not gonna get any value from the Command and Conquer
Exactly.
text there. So, yeah. But this was for a Blood Rush turn that had 5 mites from a cast bones.
Yeah, it was underwhelming.
Yeah, it was not a really good Blood Rush turn. It was the last Blood Rush, so even though Gianluca, the life it's a bit off, if I was on his seat, I would feel better about this turn. I'll start feeling better now.
Yeah, true. It will also depends on how he sets up his next turn, because he's now in this situation where he knows there's a Command and Conquer.
So yeah, we saw Gianluca blocking with Traverse, and he's getting a chi back. And using the chi to activate Enigma, so yeah, just a value block from Traverse. And also activating the boot, so yeah, pretty much value block.
So we are just going to have a small break where we don't have sound. We'll get back to you in a bit.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and we have the round timer now, so you can see. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for waiting. So we saw Gianluca having another pretty much block turn and pass with Arsenal, and Alvação is again going.
So my understanding now of what Gianluca is trying to do is just blocking as much as he can and hope for a smaller turn from Vassão, because generally you would expect the users of Traverse to be on the Miragai to
Yeah.
set up,
That's true, that's true.
but it chose to mostly like value block on that turn.
But I think his plan is the Shimmers with the Spectral Shield.
Exactly. So he's not on the Miragai plan for now. The thing is,
And here comes another Pummel from Vassão.
Oh my god, Vassão.
Oh my
Vassão
God.
is playing. I thought that was a one-off Pummel, to be fair.
Well,
So he's.
fun is good, two are better, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
And
The-
Gianluca doesn't seem to be waiting for this at the
yeah,
moment.
exactly. So he's playing the Waxing Spectre. He's losing it, unfortunately. Um, I don't think he will use. Oh, we will use Uphold. In this case. Um, oh, and he's taking value out of the Restless Coalescence from Arsenal.
Yeah, exactly.
But now we are in this situation where, after all of this is done, um, what can the Enigma player do in order to pressure the life total of the KO, right?
I believe his plan is just keep the Spectral Shield with the counters and the shimmers and just start attacking for free with a shield with counters. He has a Restless Coalescence with 2 counters, I believe, so he can do some more shields to protect that one. And I think his plan is just go for it and hope that the Shimmer's Spectral Shield combo saves him. Now, with the Tunic, he can attack with Restless to take some more value out of it.
Yeah.
So attacking for 5 go again. And then he can use that counter to make a Spectral Shield.
So let's see what Vasson does, because he now has 2 things to deal with. He needs to deal with the auras that are attacking him, and he also needs to somehow get that shimmers
Yeah,
off the
exactly.
board, right? Because if there's a world where Vasson cannot deal with the shimmers and the restless, it's going to take over the game.
No, he needs to deal with one of them for sure, at least this turn, because it's too much value with the combination of Restless and Shimmers on the table is too much.
So
He needs to deal with one at least.
taking a counter of restless, creating another shield. Vasson still has the headpiece and the hands, which
And what?
oh, so Vasson wanted to discard an agile windup before the end of the turn.
Probably, yeah. I
But-
believe that's it.
Gianluca was already on the draw step, so they are calling a judge to understand if Vasson still can make it happen.
Yeah, because if he wants to threaten the Restless, he needs to go again, right?
Yeah, exactly. He needs damage, and what he's probably identifying is he cannot just do it by pitching for claw, discarding, getting the go again that way.
Yeah. Like, it's either you block Arsenal a good card and just claw the Shimmers to take it off the...
Yeah,
But
that's-
then you are on 17, so
yeah,
it's going to be a lot of damage coming from Enigma.
exactly.
Or you just continue going full straight forward, ignore the Shimmer and try to clean the board. Yeah, let's see how the judge chooses to solve this. I see we have another Pummel fan on the chat.
Everyone is a Pummel fan, unless you are on the receiving end of it.
That's true, yeah. Well, we can say that Vasson, doesn't matter if he wins or loses this game, he got some fans.
Yeah,
For sure.
for sure.
That he won for sure.
Não, a minha garrafa.
So Vasson seems to be rolling scabs because he didn't got the agility.
I think that's a 6.
Yeah, that should be a 6. Yes, it's a 6. So, like we said, he's playing with pummels and cast bones in the deck, and he's hitting the scabs and the Wellbright. So,
So
a true brute player, like you can see.
he takes the shimmers out with 1 action point, which
Yeah,
obviously
that's-
makes sense.
It's the best play is if you manage to claw the shimmers and not lose a big attack there. That's
Yeah,
the best
exactly.
way, right? Now I believe he's sending. Should be a 6 powered attack. I can't really see what it is.
So now this is a critical turn, right? Now,
Yeah.
like, I think if the Enigma player loses most of what he has in the board, it will be very hard to properly now threaten and set it up in a way that pressures the KO life total, right? Because you just
Yeah.
spend traverse, so you don't have access to traverse and Mira
He
guy.
doesn't have any armor except the tunic,
Exactly.
so if he loses
So-
all of the board, it's gonna be hard to get it back.
Exactly. So I think it's a very critical turn in order to see what you can do in terms of protecting the things that you have on board. I think I saw a sink below in the
Yes.
Enigma player's hand, so
And he's
that
blocking
will,
with a command and conquer, so
that will be obviously help in that strategy.
Yeah.
But let's see what he can come up with. He already activated the Restless. So besides whatever he has in hand, he has 5 block on the board, and I imagine that he wants to keep the Spectral Shield and the Restless alive.
okay. So Sims is command and conquer and 3 shields, so a 6 power attack like we were guessing, and now Vasson is doing an agility and a might for next turn. So yeah, he managed to clean the shimmers and most of the board, but not the restless.
Oh, there's
Oh,
still
and-
pitch for the Bear Fangs.
And there's still pitch for the Bear Fangs. And he hit a Beast Within
And a Clash of Might.
and a
Okay.
Clash of Might. So he's gonna get Bear Fangs. If it's red, it's for 8. And he's gonna arsenal a red attack, I believe.
I don't know if that's a blue or a red one, to be fair.
Yeah, but
I can imagine it's the red one, right?
I can imagine it's a red one, yeah.
Yeah. So even though it's not like the most insane Arsenal target, it's still a 2-4-6. It's still
No,
more
Clash
than
of
enough.
Might is a 3-4-7, I believe.
2-4-6?
But yeah, it's gonna get an arsenal and yeah, 2-4-6. You're right.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna get an arsenal
Yeah.
and he's
See
attacking
what-
for 8. So
yeah, so the Bear Fangs was discarded a Beast Within. Vasson loses 1 life, so now it's the awkward situation where he wanted to keep an aura, but he will just have to lose everything and take 2 damage.
Yeah.
So this is a good one for Vasson. Like, he has the go again, he has the might, he has a
an arsenal.
okay-ish target.
No, this was the perfect turn for Vasson. You couldn't
Yeah.
ask for a better turn.
Oh, and he rolls 6
Yeah,
at the
like,
start of turn, so that's
it was
crazy.
it was a perfect turn.
Now that I think about it, cleaned the whole board and still got damage through and still got cards from your opponent's hand. So I think it's just perfect, right?
And Gianluca plays a haze bending, I believe,
Yeah. So
and
Uh,
passes.
I think the value of ace bending tends to be bigger earlier in the game, right? Because you can take more advantage of the spectral shields that are destroyed.
Yeah, true. And well, just haze bending with no auras,
Yeah,
you are not really getting that much value right now.
exactly. So for some might be in a situation where you'll just most likely ignore this ace bending and just throw stuff at face.
So this seems to be a Bear Fangs, I believe.
I would say so because you have the
The
agility,
agility,
right? So it would make sense to start with the Bear Fangs, draw on this card, see your whole hand, and program basically the next attacks you have. I would say the most likely course of action is just claw into the attack that you have on Arsenal. But
Yeah,
let's see
should be.
what Vasson can come up with. I love that Gianluca is asking every single attack if Vasson has any reactions. Most usually in this matchup there's like
Well, he, he got burned twice for a pummel, so
exactly. So I think he's now just on the let's see if he has something before I do mine. Where usually in this matchup you just say, okay,
for those that don't know the pummel card, everybody should know, but it's this one, as you can see. And Vasson already used 2 of them for a really good And now it's a swing big for 8
Yeah.
as a second attack. So again, a really good turn from Vasson.
Yeah, exactly. So straightening 16, right? Still has the Arsenal card. It's unfortunate that the pitch didn't light up in a way that he could also claw, but I think
And we can see he's playing Savage Beatdown on.
yes, I think
Yes.
so.
So you can still see a card attacking for 12 in this game
Yeah.
if he gets there.
So again, I think this is the third Waxing Spectre, right? So there's no more Waxing Spectres on
I believe
the Enigma's
it's
player's
the
deck.
third red one. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So he's blocking 6 here, taking 2. I think he has a Shimmers in hand, so most likely will play it
And just pass the turn.
and
yeah.
just pass the turn exactly. Try to bank that the Shimmers plus the Easy Bending do the work.
Yeah. It's a really good combination. Like
No, no,
Easy
definitely.
Bending makes Spectral Shields for you to attack for free and get
Yeah.
the counter from Shimmer. So
Yeah. Let's see that. Let's see that after being at 12, he can still line up things in a way that both of them are relevant in the game.
the thing is, this is how you see that this matchup is not easy for the KO player because Vasson had some really great turns,
Yeah.
and even then the lives are 16-12. Okay, that Vasson still has a lot of armor on his side, and Gianluca doesn't have, but it's also Enigma also has a buffer of life with the auras and all
Yeah,
that.
and
So
crucially, he didn't play the Shimmers here, which means that he's not feeling threatened by whatever Vasson can throw at him that destroys his arsenal.
yeah,
I'm very curious to see if he's trying to line up the Shimmers with something else.
it's a possibility. Yes. So block for 3. Gonna lose a Spectral Shield, take 2. And now Gianluca managed to keep a 3-card hand.
Yeah, but I think one of the cards is an unmovable,
Okay, wait, there's still more coming.
if I'm not mistaken. So now there's a situation which is you need most likely to play the Shimmers unless you want to play the unmovable here. Okay, he wants to play the unmovable.
Unmovable.
Yeah. So this is now play Shimmers Arsenal, the other card.
Depends on the card he has in hand, right? Oh, it's
Oh,
another.
another
is-
is bending.
Okay, so
And he drew unmovable and Fate Foreseen. So, funnily enough, I would think that he wanted these cards to come when he had that like big board of like Restless plus Shields.
yeah, but you can choose, right?
Unfortunately, things didn't line up in a way that he could do both.
But that's a good hand. If someone can't pressure him too much, he has already 2 ways bendings in hand. Gianluca's board can start to go out of hand here
Yeah.
if someone can pressure him. And we see also we have 9 minutes on the clock, a little bit more than that, so we should be seeing Gianluca start to go on the offensive soon.
I'm very curious because Vasson really needs to manage the last power cards that he has. Like,
Yeah,
Blood
they are not
Rushes
much.
are out. He already played a bunch of Wild Rides. I don't think we saw Pulpings.
No, not yet, but also sometimes you don't. I don't know if he's playing them, to be
Yeah,
honest,
yeah,
because
exactly.
Enigma's out of defense reaction that can.
Yeah, and
of.
there's Pummels also, so...
Yeah, so. But that's the thing, he already played 3 Blood Rushes, 1 Cast Bones, 2 Pummels,
Yeah.
already broke Sash, so. Vasson is running out of power cards, and
Yeah,
Gianluca is still
exactly.
at 10 with 2 ways bendings.
So it's an old line.
Just,
Blocking.
yeah, blocking for 2, taking 1. Yeah, Vasson already played the Blood Rush, so no value to be gained from hold the line.
So Scab's coming, 2 action points. So let's
Well-
see. I might be the turn where that Clash of Might comes out of Arsenal, most likely.
Yeah, might be.
So this is representing 6 plus 6, which will force most likely at least 2 cards out of Gianluca's, unless he wants to give up Tunic.
And also depends on the cards he has in hand, right? Because
So he has a Fate 14, he has an Unmovable.
so he's transcending because of the older line, gain 1 life. Now you can play the unmovable if you want.
So he might also be able to save the Unmovable, which will cost him some health.
But he's a good Arsenal target.
Which obviously it's like, if you want to be alive and actually keep playing the game, it's a very good card to keep in Arsenal. Unless, again, Vassão hand lines up in such an awkward way that Gianluca gets his Arsenal threatened in a sense. But I think he did not see sandpackings until now. So the only thing he must fear is Command and Conquer.
So yeah. Here comes the other 6. No pitch floating and the unmovable. So
Yep.
Gianluca just preserving his health and this is actually, like we said, Vassão doesn't have much power cards anymore. Also played a lot of wild rights. So Gianluca maybe is just thinking, if I can withstand the last power cards, I can just value out KO from there on.
Yeah, and I think it's unfortunate that he doesn't have, because I don't think he's playing all copies of Waning Vengeance, because they would line up like really well with his ace bendings that he has.
Yep, that's true.
But we already saw all the Waxing Spectres. We saw Mira guys being pitched, and we also, I think, saw one Waning Vengeance come out. But we are missing
Oh,
still
so
two.
here is another power card from Vassão. He attacked with a claw, gave it go again, making 2 mites with a mighty one up, and now a cast bones.
Yeah.
With 2 mites already on the board,
And-
so this
yeah.
is for
And this-
sure a hit.
Yeah, these cast bones are way more likely to hit than the previous one.
Yeah.
Because now no
Oh.
blood rushes,
No
one,
pummels or
one reckless swing is on the
On the
end.
bottom.
Like, we don't know actually if there's one pummel left in the deck, because he only played 2.
Yeah,
We never know, right?
and I saw a swing
There's
big.
2 swing bigs, there's
swing bigs,
2
so-
wind ups if I'm not mistaken. So he got agility. So there's definitely a world where he just goes swing big with all the mites into swing big.
Yeah, for sure there is a world you can just go 2 swing bigs, for example, in the turn, and that's really a lot of damage.
Yeah. So as I was mentioning, there's still Waning Vengeance left. They pair really well with the Ace Bendings.
Yeah.
In order to offer like the extra protection. The thing is, Gianluca needs to have a hand now where he's able
To
to
To survive.
both block and pitch a blue card, which luckily I think it happened because he has an unmovable with a blue card, which he can pitch to play the unmovable
Yep.
to then trigger the out of the field combat of Waning Vengeance.
Let's see, here comes swing big for
I imagine for 14, right? Oh no, 15 because he had one extra,
yeah, 2 extra mites.
2 extra, so he's 16. So this is the solve reality. This is the pitch for the unmovable.
Yeah.
This is a total of 10. Waning Vengeance makes it 13, which then leaves 3 spectral shields on the table.
So yeah. Gianluca takes 3 damage, but get that life sort of back with the 3 spectral shields.
Yeah, so he's basically at 10.
But Vassão still has another attack to do.
Yeah, so he has still 2 cards plus the arsenal target, so there's the second swing big.
Second swing big for 8.
So there's no way that he's able to keep all the shields and his hand card, so there's the Fate 14. He will take 1 damage
And lose all the shields.
And lose all the shields, exactly.
But yeah, like you said, the Winning Vengeance allow him to survive this another big turn from Vassão, and now is the point that KO starts going down in power level because most of the power cards are off. Most of the go agains also should be pretty much used by now. So
I think what Vassão is mostly trying to find here to finish the game is getting one of the remaining agile windups from the deck, getting an agility out, and set up a 5-card hand with multiple attacks in a way that they are not efficient for the Enigma player to block.
So we saw draw this card from Vasson. I believe that. So that's a wild ride. 6 go again. So
Yeah, exactly.
so now,
Yeah.
if he has a blue in hand, he can do go claw and another attack. So
Yeah. And there's still like 0-card blocks in the
Jungle.
Enigma's deck.
yeah,
So there's a world where Vasson
just kills him or
or
close to it.
leaves them at one where he has to block with Tunic or something. So there's also 2 blocks because there's still shimmers in the deck that we've seen being pitched. So a bunch of 2 blocks, some non-blocks. The Mira guys are also still there if I'm not mistaken. So yep. With 1 minute left, let's see what Gianluca can offer.
Yeah, let's see. It's a claw for 3 go again.
So this hand is Rage Scepter and Mira guy. Yeah, so he's choosing to just block 4 with the Mira guy.
No, block 2.
Oh, because it was not
You have to pitch the chi.
the
to,
she. Yeah, exactly. I think this is game, if I'm not mistaken.
If that is a bear
Yeah.
yeah, bear fangs for 8.
Yeah, and that's game.
Yeah, that's game.
Well
So,
played by Vasson.
Well played by Vasson. And yeah, Gianluca is telling Vasson about the skin rolls that it is in the game, but that's how you play Brute. You have to roll to get your prize. So yeah, it was another great game on this round 2. The round is almost over, so stay tuned for the next round and see you in a bit.
Hello everyone and welcome to round 3 of the Battle Hardened Lisbon. This is an Azalea mirror, Stefano against Alexandro. I think Alexandro won the dice and chose to go first, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see how the matchup plays out. We all know that these matchups can be very swingy depending on the amount of red and ledgers that gets drawn. So let's see what both players can come up with, who can find the red in a leisure first, and how the matchup turns out.
Hello everyone, this is the end of round 2. I'm here with the winner of this round 3.
Round 3.
Yeah, round 3. I'm here with the winner, Stefano.
Yeah.
Nice to have you here.
Yes.
So you are 3-0 now. How are
Yeah.
you feeling?
Very well.
Very well?
Yeah.
Nice to know. So we saw you play Azalea Mirror.
Yeah.
What do you think is, well, besides Retina Ledger, that everybody knows is the main card of that mirror,
Yeah.
what do you think is the second best, most important stuff on the mirror?
I think that the new harms, it's really important, and when we don't have the tempo, I usually put an arrow. I mean, better if it is a good arrow, of course. In Arsenal, because when the opponent shot with the red in the ledger, you can use the arms and shot the opponent back. And so yeah, I prefer, for example, the turn one. My turn one of this game, I have to choose if play one more buff on infecting shot and pitch the other infecting shot, or put that infecting shot in Arsenal and I choose to infecting shot in Arsenal just for this thing.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, nice to hear. So, what is the matchup that you don't want to see in front of you?
I mean, in this meta, there are few decks that Azalea don't want to join, but it depends by the approach, you know. For example, Zen is not a good matchup, but I don't like play against Zen just because it's the way that you improve the game, that you have just to see red in the ledger and please don't transcend in the first 2 turns and this type of stuff. The other game that is not very, the other matchup that is not very good for Azalea, of course, is Nu and Prism, but are more flesh and blood games.
You have more agency on what you are doing, so you feel that you are more in control. Against Sen, is just pray that they don't have it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess that's how a lot of people feel against Sen.
Yeah. So I have some particular cards in sideboard as well for these matchups, and I mean the game could be more interesting that Azalea.
Yes. So Mirror of Azalea is a bit Retina Ledger, who sees more, who sees less. So maybe a question outside of Flesh and Blood. You are not from Portugal?
No, I'm from Italy.
Italy?
Yeah.
Did you came from Italy to this?
Yeah. Yes. I have never been in Portugal before. So when I see the Battle in Lisbon, I say, okay, I take this like a
good excuse to come, right?
Excuse, exactly. So I stay at the tournament, of course, and 2 more days to join the city, and Wednesday I come.
Okay, cool. And what are you thinking about Portugal so far?
I just arrived yesterday.
Oh, okay.
But
then you didn't saw it yet.
Everyone, all my friends speak very well about Lisbon. One of my really good friend, Giacomo, lives there. That is so. Yeah.
Nice. Well, glad we have more people except the Portuguese here. It's always nice to see, and I hope you enjoy Portugal and good luck for the tournament.
Okay.
Thank you. Maybe see you again in the top 8 or somewhere in the street.
Bye. Ciao. See you soon.
See you. And from now we're gonna have a little break for lunch.
Yeah, 1 hour and off.
Yeah, we're gonna be back around 2 p.m. Portuguese time. So see you soon. And yeah, thank you again for the interview and for coming. And thank you again for.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And
Bye.
see you. Bye.
us to preserve that which we hold dear, to defend the innocent, and a future in which all can live free. Bravery is born of the light.
And it's gonna get the fist bump. The Phoenix rises.
What an incredible display by.
Listen to this room right now. The room is erupting.
Celebrating our flesh and blood world champion.
Welcome again. Just a quick update. We're gonna have a break on the stream to fix some technical issues we are still having. We're also gonna have a lunch break, so we'll be back soon at 2 p.m. Portuguese time. See you then.